defensive backs during the spring right now?
It's been awesome. I mean, anytime you get a chance to work with another, experienced coach in the secondary, you continue to learn. I mean, that's why we all do this business. Nobody, all of a sudden thinks they have all the answers. So the moment that you get a chance to continue to learn and develop even yourself, it's awesome. So great coaches around us. At the same time, the players are improving, right? And they're playing with a ton of energy. I mean, that's what football and practice and everything's all about, right? They're learning from their mistakes and they're playing hard.
We've asked the offensive guys a lot about learning the playbook and the complexity of the scheme. What's that process like on your side of the ball?
To be honest, it's been really good. For the chance even, coming into spring ball, a little bit of time that we worked out to where we can all of a sudden get with our players a little bit and, they digested the scheme. And, credit to the players because they actually watched film on their own and they did a lot of things on their own to, all of a sudden when spring football started, it wasn't like starting from square one. Like we didn't technically have like install one. We technically started and had, open to the whole playbook on defense, right? So that's awesome. That's credit to the, all of a sudden laying the groundwork out as far as the calendar coming from Coach Riley and, Coach Grinch making sure that everything was implemented. So, and the players, like I say, they digested the playbook pretty well.
You've probably been asked about some of the guys that you brought in, but like Latrell McCutcheon, what did you guys see from him that you wanted to bring him in?
You know what? Coach Grinch has said this before about a previous player he coached. I mean, he's like a Swiss Army knife. So it's good, when you got a guy that you can line up at corner, you can line him up at safety, you can line him up at nickel, and he's able to, understand things going on. He took some of the things that he already knew, when he was at Oklahoma as far as the schematics, and then he's also learned a couple new techniques and things here, but also he's really comfortable around his new teammates. So, that's helping him play fast, that's helping him play physical, and, we greatly needed him, and he's out here performing.
Same thing with Blackman.
He's been awesome. He's been awesome because the difference is, especially with him, is, it's a guy that's been at 2 other colleges because he was in junior college. Then at the same time, he was at a previous school in the South, and he's out here and he brings a bit of maturity. He brings a guy that started multiple games in this conference, and once again, it's a guy that's fit in well with the group that's already here.
We noticed, I think Max and Makai both have kind of earned the Trojan emblem on their helmets.
Yep.
How they get that, and what are they showing you so far?
It's part of just doing everything right. We have a standard here, and when you're doing everything right with the standard, and everybody thinks that's just football and playing football, but that's the academics. That's, everything. That's being where you're supposed to be early, right? Because early's on time. And those guys, credit to them, they've done everything right leading up to this point, and they'll continue to do it.
You're one of the few coaches or people in the organization who's carried over from the past season. What's the transition experience been like for you, and what have you seen in the way that it's changed this team?
You know what? I don't look at it like that, carryover. I look at, when everybody else came in, that was also my first day because we started all over together. It wasn't like really we done this in the past or done that in the past. It's about what we're going to do right now together. So I don't really look about, as far as me being here in the past. The only thing I got, from the past is I already had my living arrangements already coordinated to where I didn't have to worry about some of these guys finding houses and everything else. So besides that part, everything else for me has been also being brand new and learning together.
As far as having had previous relationships with a lot of your players, who have you been able to see kind of taking steps forward quickly in these last few months?
You know what? These guys, some of the younger guys, they deferred to maybe some of the guys that was here in the past. Just because we had guys that have been here for a while and played a lot of football. Now you actually get a chance to see some of these young guys' true character because now they are the old guys, even though it's only their second year here, and some of them just got here last summer, so they haven't been here for a whole year. So to see some of those guys actually, truly take ownership, but a guy that you brought up earlier, Makai, he's been awesome for the group, as far as a leader, as far as someone that knows and understands, how to take care of their body, how to do the things right, and come on the field and continue to learn. For even him, he's not all of a sudden like, I did it this particular way in the past. He's making sure he's doing it the way that we want him to do it now.
How's Kalen doing?
He's doing really good. He's doing really good. It's like I say, it's a lot difficult at safety. Safety is more like scheme and then technique. So it's a lot of checks, a lot of adjustments, and he's adjusting well. And he continue to get better as far as the formations and the things that he needs to do.
Discipline and accountability have always been 2 big items with you. And this offseason, you guys had to kind of establish that, the accountability and the discipline. What are the steps that you guys go through to establish that?
You know what? As you mature as a person, as you mature as a player, you know the things that you need to do. And some of the steps that we do is nothing like peer pressure. And to see a lot of these new guys, like you take some guy like Makai, you take a Shane Lee, you take a Caleb Williams, you take a lot of the new guys to already, you know, understand what it's like to be somewhere else and do things a particular way. But also credit to some of these guys that we already had on this team, right? We have a lot of guys on this team right now that they want to be here. So they want to do things the right way, but sometimes, you know, they're still younger kids and they may all of a sudden do some things that they shouldn't do. And all these coaches are holding these guys accountable. And, you know, everybody thinks of the full-time guys, but it's the GAs, it's the QCs, it's the strength staff. You know, we're all held to a higher standard, and we're making sure we hold the players to the same. Thank you. Fight on.
Thank you.